All right. Welcome back to the Crypto Cooler Talk Show. This is your boy, Crypto Cooler Third, aka Crypto Cuz Third. We are live back one more again. Welcome back, folks. It's so good to be back with you. I know we've had a little bit of break. It's been a little bit of some time since we got together last. I can hear the crowd is real wild. Real excited to be here with us again, and we are really excited to be doing this again. I got something special brewed up for you guys today. I have my buddy Norm on, and basically what I wanted to give you guys was a little snapshot of a conversation with someone who is already in the game, already has skin in the game. What a everyday person like yourself may be looking like. What it's like to be into the crypto space. So we're gonna do a little bit of a series where we talk to investors, where we talk to day traders, so you guys can get a kind of peek of what exactly is going on in the space. I know oftentimes I'm saying to you guys, you should get in. So I wanted to bring to the audience a look at talking to people who are in the space, who are investing, who have skin in the game, how they got in, how they're doing, what they're thinking, and basically let you guys know that you can do it too, because that's the ultimate goal for this, is to show people you belong here in this space. We all belong here in this space. There's money for everybody to be made. There's wealth transfer happening here. There's knowledge to be gained about something new that's happening, and you can come into the space. So with no further ado, I'm going to be coming in here, bringing on my buddy Norm. Norm, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here, man.
All right. How we doing today, Norm?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm quite well, man. We're really, really happy to have you on the show. Just going to go ahead and just, do you want to give us just a little bit of background about yourself and what you do?
Yeah, so first, I do a whole bunch of stuff, but long story short, I'd probably say my background is I'm an investor in several different asset classes, most notably real estate and cryptocurrency. And I kind of like to take a thesis-driven approach to my investment in cryptocurrency, but not much so like a hedge fund kind of thing. Well, I just invest on the idea of I'm putting my money in something that's considered sound money.
Nice.
And And with regards to real estate too, I've pretty much come to the conclusion, or at least that the only things that will probably matter in the future are a business, have real estate, and digital assets.
Really, that's an interesting take, because I've had some people tell me that even real estate was going to be disrupted by digital assets and cryptocurrency. Do you feel like it will survive? Maybe it just be a little bit different than how we know it?
I'll put it like this: real estate can be disrupted by cryptocurrency and digital assets, but at the end of the day, bro, you still need somewhere to sleep.
Correct. Housing isn't going anywhere. There's 6 billion going on 9 billion people, and everybody needs somewhere to lay their head at.
Exactly. Unless you know about a way to create virtual homes, homes ain't going anywhere, bro.
Exactly. I think what they're talking about when they say that real estate is going to be disrupted, I think it's probably escrow companies are going to probably be disrupted, because smart contracts will find a way to kind of remove some of the middlemanning that escrow companies do.
Yeah, I could see something like that happening. In my honest opinion, I feel like we'll see an increase in efficiency in terms of maybe closings of real estate deals. But at the end of the day, the central point of failure for a lot of these smart contracts and blockchains in general, when it comes to real world assets, is the fact that you still need humans behind these insertions into a blockchain, and you have to make sure that the people inserting the data into the blockchain are actually honest people.
Man, from your mouth to God's ears, man. That's one thing I've been trying to say, is that there's a lot of things that tech is going to come in and do and change, but there are certain aspects that the blockchain hasn't figured out yet, where governance won't just solve it all. There isn't just a code to all of this stuff. In order for things to be immutable, somebody has to put these things in and they have to be a trusted source.
There are so many factors that that I personally think people have to consider when it comes to this. Like, for example, like a lot of people always like say, "Oh, blockchain is gonna solve this, blockchain is gonna solve that." But like, I have yet to see, or I've seen few people say, "Okay, blockchain is going to solve this." And matter of fact, we're going to take it a step further. We're going to use this blockchain to solve this specific problem. And by solving this particular problem, it's going to lead in an X percent amount of efficiency. Like, it's going to increase this business process by X amount percent. I haven't really seen anything like that. And that's kind of my personal frustration, because I feel like a lot of people are just throwing around buzzwords and they actually have no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah. I've been in several circles where that's been a topic of conversation. But I feel like we're jumping in heavy. We're going into these really deep ideas. Let's take it back for some of the people. We've had a few conversations in private already, and we have a bit of a rapport going. For the listeners that are out there, let's go ahead and jump all the way back. With most people, jumping into the space after December 2017 at the all-time high, I know that you're kind of an early adopter of cryptos. Can you kind of give the listening audience some of your story of how you ended up coming into the crypto space?
Yeah, so I mean, my story is I especially heard about it in 2012, but like I dismissed it because like I wasn't educated at the time. I saw it on CNN, and like they were talking about like the Silk Road and drugs and stuff like that. So I put it off for a couple of years. And essentially, like, long story short, down the road, I got a job working on Wall Street in a popular investment bank. And one of my friends at the time lived in New York City, and he was like, "Hey, man, we definitely need to link up." And long story short, we caught up. I found out he was heavily invested into crypto, and he made a whole bunch of money. He made a large sum of money, basically undisclosed, through crypto. Opened up several businesses, from running mining facilities to building mining roofs for people, and eventually running a startup and raising millions of dollars through his startup. And that was kind of raising millions of dollars through his startup now, not when I met him, but like that was kind of like my onboarding into crypto. Like, he introduced me to like the news websites, like the exchanges and stuff like that. And then like he showed me, he kind of like put me on to some game. And then I kind of just took it from there. Like, I kept my research going, I kept reading, and then I eventually just met like-minded people in crypto who were way ahead of me in terms of like investment ideas, like their backgrounds, and stuff like that. And so what I do to learn is I essentially try to have intellectual discussions with people who I know way more than me, so I can pick their brain, and hopefully that'll take me to the next level. And then I read as much as possible.
Right. So, with finding out about it in 2012 and having a friend who was so heavily involved, did you get a chance to get in on anything early on? Like, I know that's around the time when Vitalik had came out with ETH. Were you able to snatch up some early ETH?
So in 2012, I didn't have anything. I just missed it completely. I got my official get in date was 2016.
Got it. Okay. All right.
I got in in 2016 officially. And I actually got into Ethereum when it was like $11.
Ah, okay.
But the thing that I had was like I had to pay for school, so I effectively sold. Like, if we were to price the Ethereum that I sold in like December of 2017, had I held and I sold and I sold in December of 2017. I would have effectively sold somewhere between $600 and $7,000 worth of Ethereum. But I ended up selling earlier because I had to pay for college.
So one thing that I try to get out to people is kind of like what you just kind of gave us, is that like there are ups and downs to this. There's a lot of risk inside of this. And going off of that, can you give us kind of a little detail on the hardest time that you faced as an investor / day trader of crypto? And which do you consider yourself, an investor or a day trader, or both?
I'm an investor, and I have a long-term approach to crypto, and I believe in the fundamentals. Right now, I definitely think everything is illogical, like in terms of the decisions people are making. But I believe that in the long run, once the landscape evens out, and once people become more sophisticated and understand like the economics that we're seeing develop, I think that these fundamentals are going to be like, I guess, the de facto measurement for like how crypto performs and how people value crypto.
I agree.
So I'm a long-term investor.
I am too. I'm long-term right now, and I'm studying a few people that I think are smart on their day trading approaches, so that I'll be ready to day trade when I'm comfortable. I'm still trying to quite figure out how a Fibonacci chart exactly works, to be honest with you. Can you kind of explain your enter and exit strategy, if you do have an enter and exit strategy, with the long-term approach that you have in mind?
I mean, like for the average person, I'll tell the average person, like if you're trying to learn, just like put a little bit of money into crypto. But I mean, my entrance strategy is always, I've always been the type of person just to like dollar cost average and just want to research. But back in like, I guess my heyday, when like I was just going crazy in terms of like crypto, my entrance strategy would be to wait for those corrections. Like I would use technical analysis to kind of get like a feeling of what's going on, and then I would wait for a correction, and I would double down during corrections, and then when I knew like, okay, like we recovered, but like I guess we're over some sort of threshold that I would measure out using technical analysis, like that's when I would sell. Or additionally, what I used to do is like there would be certain projects that I would follow, and I would chart out like their milestones, and I would always buy before their milestones, and I would sell on their milestones. And like there are several examples of this, like including there's EOS, you have Skull. Like there's so many examples of projects that have shot up, that have virtually doubled in terms of price weeks before their mainnet has launched, or a week before they're doing something big. And like while people were buying around those days, I was selling. Like I'd have my sell points laid out, and I would just sell. I was selling the Bitcoin. I'd at least make my initial investment back, and then like I would take some profits, and then I would hold a small percentage to see what happens with longer. So that's kind of like my entrance and exit strategy. So long story short, my entrance strategy is to use technical analysis to chart out the market and see where those, I guess, resistance and support lines are. Then I would wait to hit those points to enter into the market, and then I would probably use a combination of like fundamental indicators to like figure out like when I should sell, and then I would sell around those dates to get out.
There you have it, folks. That's the map. And once again, I always want to say this isn't
this is not financial advice.
It's not financial advice. This isn't professional advice. This is just us letting you know how somebody did it. So, Norm, let me ask you this. With digital currencies on the rise, institutional investors are flocking to the space due to low market prices and the rise of custodialship. Do you see fiat being replaced by crypto anytime soon, or will they continue to coexist?
I can't necessarily answer that question, but what I can say is that there are numerous situations in which I can see good things happen and I can see bad things happening. But I can say the most favorable situations that would happen is that Bitcoin becomes like a very, very good store of value, and because it's such a good store of value, people effectively use it as a hedge against their own governments. And if governments or central banks realize that people are using it as a hedge against their own governments, we could essentially see situations where banks are forced to play nice in terms of monetary policy, like inflation, like